Hello and welcome to an episode of BTech. So I noticed the push connects are leaking. Ironically, when you push these to the side, you can actually get them to leak here. And the same thing for that one there. I want to make a much better seal. So what I got was what I used for my air compressor system from McMaster. And what I got are these tight seals. These things, per their name, seal extremely tight. And what they are is they're kind of like a compression connection, but they have a center tube in here to keep it from collapsing, so you can compress really, really hard. So let's get them installed and see if they stop the leak. All right, so we have both pieces on here, and then what you do is you just have to this center piece keeps it from collapsing, and then you can tighten it up, and it makes a nice, super tight connection. All right, now for this last part, we have the original Schrader valve that came with it, and I have this Curtis hitch that bolts up into where the tow hooks in the car went. The problem with this is, like the other pieces, it is a push to connect. So if anything grabs the line or moves it around, it'll force a leak. I just bolted it through there. It actually kind of just fit. What we're going to do is replace that with something. I'll show you what it is. First, we're going to get that off of there. Then we're going to have to open up this hole a little bit more for our new piece, and I'll show you how our new solution is going. So here is the piece that was on there. There's a bunch of these on sale. You can find them on Amazon and all sorts of stuff. This one's stainless steel. I like how the cap for it is actually a valve tool remover, so you can actually remove the Schrader valve internally and replace it if you wanted to. Kind of cool. It also makes it easy to let air out of it, and you can see it's nice and long here, so we actually could use it as a bulkhead adapter. The problem with it is, for me, I don't like these quick connects because, like I said, as you push really hard or something grabs the side of the line, it makes it really easy to make it leak. They're just not the best connectors for preventing leaks. So we're going to replace it with one of the tight connect, which I've already shown you. Tight connect's going to go in there. However, I could not find a tight connect that goes into a Schrader of any type, but especially a long Schrader like this that would be able to use as a bulkhead adapter. So what I did is we have this one. This goes to 1/8 NPT. And then we have a stainless steel Schrader valve with a filter that adapts to 1/8 NPT as well. And then we have this bulkhead adapter, which actually has 1/8 NPT threads on both sides. Now we will have to drill out the hole a little bit. I think I'm going to drill to 11/16, so it's a little bit bigger than this. We can use some washers. Here's the nut for it. And we can really sturdily mount this. Have the Schrader valve on one side, the tight connect on the other side. We'll be using thread sealant and Loctite on this to keep it from falling off. What else can I say? We'll use a stepped drill bit since it's not super thick to drill it out to 11/16. This is a Cobalt steel with titanium nitride coating, which is why it's yellow. So we'll see how well that works. There was some lubricant obviously on it as well. Because unfortunately I don't have a male adapter, so we'll use this male to male in order to get that piece in there. So let's get it set up. All right, that one's nice and tight and sealed. All right, nice and tight there. So let's get this trimmed up and connected. the Schrader valve on. This one does come with a really nice cap, but I like the other cap better because it has the ability to take the valve in and out and deflate it easier. So I'm going to go grab the other cap and use it for this, but first we have to fill it back up again. Alright, so we're currently at 30 on this gauge. Let's see what happens if we unplug and plug it in, just to see how much we lose each time, since it's not a high volume system. So now it's slightly below 30. Let's see how consistent this slime gauge is. I have to use the same gauge both times because the other one was reading like 25. This one's reading 30, above 30. So let's try measuring a few times to see if it's at least consistent. 30 again. Just below 30. So this one's doing decently consistent. So today's Thanksgiving. Let's see what happens when we measure it on Christmas. So we'll give it a month and see how well it holds there. All right, so we have tight connects almost all the way around. We have our Schrader valve there. We have our bulkhead adapter. We have our tight connect there. We have our tight connect T bolted to the bottom of the differential. And we have 90 degrees connectors on both airbags. Now, one exception is the actual bottom of the airbag is a push to connect that's up in here. Can't see it, can't really do much about that one, so we'll just have to live with it. So I'm curious to see how well these will hold when we come back in a month. Today's Thanksgiving, so let's come back on Christmas and see if it's still a little bit under 30 PSI with that slime gauge. In the meantime, I'll order a more accurate pressure gauge as well, just so that we have that on hand. Since those two pressure gauges are radically different, we need something better. All right, hope you find this interesting. And also hope it works, because if it doesn't, we're going to have to go through all the hard work of adding an automatic air compressor and everything to keep these at whatever PSI we desire. Certainly would be a lot easier, but I'd rather not have to do all that installation. So let's check back at the end of December when I post this video. Take care. All right, so it's about January 2nd, so didn't get around to doing this at Christmas, but we got a little bit more than a month that's gone by. We got the same old slime air pressure indicator. So I got one of the nice ones here to get a real accurate reading. Now, this is the one that was the highest rated on Project Farm. So let's see where we end up. All right, so it's like we're at 20, 22, 24, 26, be 27 PSI. Which is pretty dang good. A little bit of air gets released every time we do this, so it does obviously lose a little bit, but that's really good. For fun, let's see how off this gauge is. We use the same gauge both times, just so that we got accurate before and after, at least consistent, I should say. Not really accurate. Let's see how this gauge does. It's actually saying that the other gauge is actually quite accurate. They're both reading almost identical. It's pretty good. So we did a really good job of keeping air in these airbags with these fittings. Definitely highly recommended. Until next time.